Today we are going to be continuing with our folk art sun moon that we started in our last lesson. Today you will need your picture that you had safely put away into a safe spot. You are going to need your watercolor paints, a brush, a glass of water, and something to put behind your project so that when you are working, you don't ruin the surface like the table that you are working on. So please pause the video and go get your supplies. Welcome back. Today we are going to be watercolor painting our folk art sun moons from our last lesson. I am showing you an example of mine. Now notice I put a backing behind it to protect the surface. That is really important. The next thing I'm going to do, is talk to you about brushes. Paint brushes are not toilet brushes. We don't scrub with them. We are soft and gentle with our brushes. We never paint like this because we are not scrubbing and it ruins our brush. So we always want to make sure we are very gentle. Another painting tip when painting is to use a lot of water. I am going to take my water and I'm going to dip my brush into it to make the paint nice and wet. I don't need to dig into the paint and scoop it out. Just making it wet does the trick. And I don't need a lot of paint because it spreads, it's water-based. Then I am going to begin painting the area that I want. When it's looking dry, I just dip it in my water again and paint a little more. The great thing about watercolors is that I can blend my colors. So I can dip my brush in the water to clean it, dip it in another color, maybe my purple, and add right to it, and the colors kind of blend to create a whole new kind of look. But be careful when you're doing that because you don't want your colors to mix in your palette. So if you were going to go from those colors to a yellow, you want to make sure your brush is real clean so that you don't get that darker color into the paints that you are working with. I can add that paint in here, but not ruin them on my palette to create what I'm doing here. And now I've got one section done. I could then clean my brush and go to another area with another color and start painting. Again, I'm not digging in my paint, I'm gently adding water and adding the color. If I want to again blend colors, I'm going to clean that brush and go to another color, making sure I get it real wet and start adding that color. Watercolors blend real nicely, but if you don't want to, you can keep your colors separate in each section, but we are watercolor painting. Remembering, we don't want to scrub with that brush. We want to gently glide our brush across the paper. When we see it starting to look dry, we just want to add more water and continue. We are going to continue and paint our entire project. And I'm going to show you some examples of what it looks like when you're done. Here are some that I've done using watercolor. Now, if you weren't able to come and get watercolors or don't have them at home, you could have chose to use some regular paint maybe that you had. That works. Or you could have even chose to use colored chalk or crayons or marker. I just thought it'd be really fun for us to use watercolor paints because those are one of my favorite mediums to work with. Now, after you have finished, take this and let it dry. Then ask yourself, did I follow directions? Did I include everything in my project that I was supposed to? Was I showing good craftsmanship? Was I neat? Did I work carefully? Am I so proud of what I created? Was I creative? Does mine not look like exactly Mrs. Ruskowski's? Did I create something that really became my own? If you can say yes to these, then you sign your name because all great artists do that. Then I want you to go to the assignment link. Assignment link. Upload your picture using the microphone and show me your fantabulous Mexican folk art. And I hope you had as much fun doing this as I did. We'll talk soon.